Hey, this is Bobby Lee, and you're listening to 70,000 watts of volunteer-powered, listener-supported community radio on 88.5 WMNF Tampa.
The opinions presented on the Healthy Steps show are the evidence-based opinions of Dr. Fred Harvey, the callers, and his guests. These are not the opinions of the staff, the volunteers, or the board of WMNF. The information provided on the show is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. There is no implied patient-physician relationship in these calls. The nature of the calls is educational and informational only.
Hello there, my dear listeners. It is wonderful to be back with you on this Monday morning. I cannot thank you enough for keeping your radio dial tuned to WMNF Tampa, the acme of community-supported radio from Tampa Bay to the Gulf of Mexico, and the only station that Ricky Fedora would ever dare dream of streaming, and you can stream us as well at WMNF.org. And as sure as I'm sitting here, to my extreme joy, today is Ask Me Anything Monday. And you as well, I am sure, are all awash in that excitation. Give us a call and share your medical questions or concerns. You know what to do now. Give us a jingle at 813-239-9663. That number again is 813-239-9663. Or you can send an email to dj@wmnf.org or text us at 813-433-0885. Good morning to you, Dr. Harvey. AMA Monday is always a great day. Unlike any other day of the week, anything is possible and the unexpected is to be expected. Let's crank up this show. What have you got for us today, Dr. Fred?
It's another wonderful Monday, and welcome everybody to the Healthy Steps Show. Thanks, Bill, for that intro, and I hope everybody's weekend was wonderful.
Mine certainly was, and I agree. I hope all of our listeners had a wonderful time and didn't get too wet in the rain.
Yeah, dodging raindrops is kind of fun in Florida summer. I'm glad the rain's back, though. I mean, we had a couple of summers here where there was virtually nothing, and it's kind of glorious to have afternoon showers back, and nighttime showers, and morning showers, because we need the rain. So, it's amazing. Everybody talks about doom scrolling these days, but we could all do it. But when I start my deep dives into not conspiracy theory, but trying to connect the dots in health, I just love doing it because there's so many threads that link to common cause. It's really amazing. So, we just heard Amy Goodman talk about all kinds of multiple threads running in the political world that come together. You can see where money converges in certain areas that cause problems in other areas. And so in this reality, I started on this journey this morning on looking at new studies. It's so amazing. New study finds, new study links, new study discovers, all these interesting things. So one I saw was common artificial sweetener may interfere with cancer treatments. Yeah. We know that artificial sweeteners are just poison, so we shouldn't be using them anyway. They don't help anybody do anything but get more ill. And so there's the first one. Common artificial sweetener may interfere with cancer treatments. Then the next one I find is study links. I love these ones. Study links. So studies links ultra-processed foods and lung cancer. So if you're eating that stuff out of the boxes that has, 20 different multisyllabic poisons in it that stabilize, emulsify, and otherwise color, flavor, and turn it into a poison, these ultra-processed foods are linked to lung cancer now. But they've been linked to other things. And then the best one that I saw, the one that I woke up to was new study links French fries to very high type 2 diabetes risk, increases it as much as 20%. And so there's a commonality here, though. I like to look for the commonality. They say, okay, French fries are bad, but other potatoes are okay. And then ultra-processed foods cause lung cancer and other things. And the common artificial sweetener that I was referring to is sucralose. Sucralose, ultra-processed foods. What sucralose is obviously an ultra-processed non-food. It's chlorinated sugar. It's polysucrose created by mixing it with chlorine. And so there's chlorine in the mix, and this weird polyose sugar is not nutritive, but it's also not healthful. It's poison. And so the link between that, the processed foods, and the specifically deep fried, French fried potatoes, there's one common thing here. What are these things doing? Well, we're ingesting them, and they go directly to our gut. And in our gut, we have millions upon millions, trillions of critters living there. Bacteria, fungi, viruses, and these things all work together to prevent infectious illness, prevent infestation illness like parasites, to prevent inflammation, but also to digest our food and to transform our food into things we can use. The microbiome, when it's healthy, actually helps create our serotonin neurotransmitter, and it helps create our dopamine neurotransmitter. So it helps to balance our mood. So food and mood are tied together, but so are so many other health issues. So when you talk about ultra-processed foods, what do they do? They negatively impact the gut microbiome. This causes inflammation, reduced microbial diversity, and increased intestinal permeability. We in functional medicine and functional health practitioners call it leaky gut. But it's got numerous metabolic definitions that back up what we call leaky gut. And we see that when we do stool tests and see the imbalance in the microbiome. We do inflammatory tests and see what's going on there and see what kind of reactions going on. So ultra-processed foods, those things that you get out of boxes in the middle of the grocery store, are stuff to be left behind because they're actually profit centers for poison. Yeah, the manufacturer makes profit and you get poisoned and then you get sick, and then the manufacturer is probably owned by the company that makes the pharmaceutical that's going to fix your intestinal destruction, your ulcerative colitis or your lung cancer or maybe your diabetes. And so, yeah, if you want to keep eating the industrial waste products called processed foods and work on getting more disease, you can, but you might want to avoid that. The study that looked at the French fries looked at 200,000 people, tracked their information for 30 years. They found that baked, boiled, and mashed are not a big deal, but fries are, because the fry oil kills. And the artificial sweetener sucralose destroys your microbiome, turning it into an inflammatory microbiome. So what we're seeing here is that making poor food choices changes your microbiome, and the microbiome changes your ability to deal with inflammation and immunity. And the one cancer treatment that's being disrupted by sucralose is one that it works on the immune system. They are checkpoint blockers, I think is what they're called, but they actually need an intact immune system to work. But sucralose disrupts the immune system. And so what it does is it reduces our ability to communicate, because all those organisms in our gut communicate with us and we communicate back, and we have this symbiosis going on that helps promote health of both systems, which is really only one system because the microbiome is part of us. They've chosen to live in us. They like to live here. But we can actually push out the good ones. There's actually evidence that Alzheimer's disease patients have lowered amounts of a bug called Akkermansia muciniphila. It's one that makes mucus in your gut. And so if you're absent that, you might actually be heading down a pathway towards Alzheimer's disease. So what we eat and how we affect our microbiome in our gut is critical for future health. And so it really does help to be conscious about your food choices. Potatoes aren't bad, but French fries could really hurt you if you do them all the time and forever. I think that anybody can get away with one dose of a French fry once in a while, especially for the mental health boost, because they taste so darn good. But to do this daily, to eat it McBurger death every day and have bags of bouquets in the red box of poison, It's got all kinds of wonderful fungicides in those things too. You don't want to be eating these plasticized potato pieces. But if you want to talk about plasticized potato pieces, this is the place to do it. This is the Healthy Steps Show, and we are on WMNF 88.5 Tampa.
We certainly are, and glad to have you in today there, Doctor. I do have Sarah from Dade City and Robin from Tarpon Springs in the wings, and I've got Maddie answering the phones. So let's make it easy for you all. You're encouraged to participate in the Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey by giving us a call at 813-239-9663. And you can continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. Let's go to Sarah. Good morning to you, Sarah. How are things in Dade City?
Starting off with new studies. I actually heard a study on Science Friday on Friday, and I wondered, I think they repeat it on Saturday evenings now too, and I wondered if you had heard with the new connection with the amount of lithium in the brain and Alzheimer's disease. And if you haven't heard of it, I'll briefly say that I guess they did, one of the key findings was a Denmark study where I guess they keep very good public health records. And they found that folks, well, first of all, they find folks with bipolar depression have low levels of lithium in their brain. And when they found folks who lived in areas of Denmark that had high lithium content in their water supply, there was much less correlation between bipolar and Alzheimer's, which I guess is really, there's a large correlation there.
Sarah, that's wonderful. And, it's really fun to hear people discover things like this. And I love the way science or the media presents it as new information. New, it's not. Information it is. And positive and real and documented. And yes, this is something to consider. This is the kind of information I love. I formulated a mineral supplement back in 2007 to complement the chelation supplement that I formulated to remove toxic metals from the body. What we found, though, was that lithium came out in the chelation phase. Removing metals actually removes some of the lithium. And we have evidence for many years that lithium is a super potent brain, what we call is a nootropic agent. That's nootropic. So it grows new brain cells and it grows new connections. So it actually helps your brain to work better. And what we found is that I think in the vicinity of 300 micrograms a day is enough to make that change. So in the supplement that I created, we had 300 micrograms as a baseline because I think everybody needs a little lithium to make their brain work better. And in fact, there's a lot of really strong evidence that it's a nootropic agent and we should really consider doing it. And I think general doctors should really consider checking levels of things like minerals in their patients because I just read an article yesterday in, I think it was New York Times. It was New York Times. It was a case study. And a doctor had a patient that was very perplexing, and the person wasn't getting better. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And 3 days into the hospital stay, they got the copper level back, and the guy didn't have any copper in his body. And copper is necessary for so many functions, as is lithium. And so it's really important that we make sure that we have the right mineral content in our bodies and in our cells, because you can check serum and cellular mineral levels to see that you're getting the right amounts. But brilliant. I love this. Lithium is a pro-brain supplement.
All right. Thanks.
You're so welcome. I've been using lithium in small doses for people with emotional instabilities for years because it just helps you make better connections.
Good thoughts there. And thank you, Sarah, for calling. And I'm also going to remind folks, I do have Robin in the box, but I want you to participate. I want you to unburden yourself of your medical questions or concerns and give a call to the Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey here at WMNF Tampa, giving us a call at 813-239-9663. Let's put Maddie to work. Okay, Robin, how are you today?
Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Harvey.
Good morning.
I have a couple questions for you following up from last week's show when you mentioned that we should be consuming 35 different vegetables every week to
Yes.
really round out our diet. Afterwards,
Yes.
I had a follow-up question, and that is, where do legumes and things like that, do beans fit into that, black beans, pinto beans, that type of thing? Does that contribute, or is it strictly veggie?
No, it's plants. Any kind of plants. So the way I look at it is if you make a chimichurri and you put 5 herbs in it with some garlic and some olive oil, you got, 5 plants in there. If you eat fruits and vegetables and beans, anything from the plant world is considered adding to that because all the plants have fiber, and the fiber actually contributes to a healthier microbiome.
Oh, okay, great. I was just counting regular green, vegetable type things and got up the number pretty well. And then I thought, well, maybe my black beans and rice would be part of it too. So anything that comes from a plant.
Yes.
Okay. And a follow-up question on legumes. I've heard mixed things about peanuts. If I just get from Winn-Dixie roasted unsalted peanuts from Georgia, are there neurotoxins or mold or whatever? Are those pretty safe to eat?
Peanuts grow under the ground. Peanuts are exposed to mold. Almost all peanuts have some level of mold in them because of how they grow. Almost all of the grains that we eat have mold in them. And so one thing you might want to consider is, varying the amounts of those you eat, reducing even. And when you eat them, consider eating a chelating agent with them, something like chlorophyll or a capsule of Chelex, which has a bunch of different chelators in it. But your plants also help to chelate too. So if you eat cilantro with your if you happen to eat some fish, you're going to bind up the mercury with the sulfur in the cilantro. Garlic helps to do that too. So you can actually work on your detoxification while you're adding more plants to your diet.
Okay, great. Yeah, I've been adding cilantro, just fresh cilantro, to all my salads, and basically I heard that it helps bind up heavy metals. Is that true?
It definitely does bind up mercury. There's good studies on that. And one other thing to think about when you're doing that is beans are different for everyone. They have lectins and other triggering chemicals in there. So the way I would suggest figuring out which beans are good for you is to try them and pay attention to what your body says. I figured out there's a couple of beans that my body likes and a couple that it doesn't like. So I don't eat kidney beans if I can avoid them. But I will eat black beans and lentils.
Yes, me too. Lentils, black beans, pinto beans, those work fine. Garbanzo beans, not so much. Kidney beans, not so much. So I guess paying attention to our bodies is part of the process.
Conscious living is the key.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for your good input, and I can keep on listening to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Robin. Have a great week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Indeed. Thank you very much there, Robin. Now let's go to Patricia in Seminole, and I've got Jerry in St. Pete in the box. Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning. One of the earlier callers was talking about new studies, and this might not be real new, but I don't think a lot of people know about the fecal microbiota transplantation and how, and that is transference of stool from one healthy individual to another person to improve their gut microbiota. And I was wondering if the doctor knew anything about that, or if that's how much is that being studied in this country? Because this change of the microbiome can even affect your depression and other health things. So what can you tell us about fecal microbiota transplantation?
Yeah, so fecal transplantation is something that has been studied for many years here. It is controlled by the FDA. You're not allowed to give your poop to somebody you know. It is actually illegal. It is considered a drug at this point. And so there are companies that actually collect poop, purify it, and distribute it as a drug. And it is actually proven to help people recover. One of the things that it has been used for is to help somebody get over an impossible Clostridium difficile infection, an antibiotic-associated diarrhea infection that just doesn't go away because it's antibiotic resistant. But if you put the right microbiome in there, it actually gets rid of it. What's really interesting is that this is not new. This is old. This technique is something that indigenous Central American mothers discovered when they had failing infants. They would actually do their own poop transplants for their infants, and it worked.
That's astonishing. My goodness. What was I going to say? I saw a YouTube video, and it was with a doctor involved, and it was it's now an adult person who suffered from depression all of her life, and I mean, in bed depression, couldn't go to school, because when she was a young girl, she was on so many antibiotics because she was sick that I think that it killed the good gut microbiome in her body.
Yes.
And then as an adult, she and someone who probably shouldn't have been doing it to her successfully did this fecal thing, and she is without depression as an adult, living a completely healthy life. And the doctors in Australia, this is where I saw and they're saying that they wouldn't have believed it if they had not witnessed it themselves, but they attest to this. So in any case, I just wanted to make sure that's on the radio so people can avail themselves or at least research that if they so choose, okay?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that you can change your microbiome consciously. And so I don't know that we really need to be doing poop transplants. I think we need to be focusing on what's going in the upper end and what's going in the brain, because you can use consciousness, you can use thought to change your manifestation of your body. And so if you're consciously thinking of changing your microbiome by adding 35 plants to your diet, taking some locally fermented foods. Like right today, I started making Biga, B-I-G-A. Biga is sourdough starter, but I'm not doing it with packaged yeast. I'm doing it with the microbes that are in the air in my environment, because that's the way we made sourdough Biga. It takes 7 days practically to get the Biga working, but I decided I really wanted to get some more local ferments. That is a way to get a better microbiome.
Huh.
But I think that people that are really sick can benefit from the transplant.
Excellent advice, and I need to hit the fermented food more. I don't like beer, though. Anyways, but my point is I don't think these are mutually exclusive ideas, so I would say possibly both. So
I agree.
Thank you for taking my call today, okay?
So welcome. Have a great day.
You as well. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you there, Patricia. And I want to remind folks, take this minute here to let you know you're listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey on WMNF Tampa, and would like you to call on in and ask your questions, voice your concerns. The number is 813-239-9663, or continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. I do have Jerry sitting lonely on the phones here. Good morning, Jerry.
I don't feel that lonely. I feel loved. I think don't you say that? Don't you say no, that you are loved?
Indeed, and that's the truth, Jerry. Thanks for sharing.
I know, you're welcome. So, Doc, I think I've asked you this before, but I want to do it again. I tried to call last time, but I get started at work right when your show comes on, so I'm kind of stressed trying to get a call through. So,
yes.
But a little bit later today, so I hope you're doing well. And so tell us the top 3 nations in the world that have the best health care, in your opinion, so that they can set an example for the rest of the world, A. And then I did want to make a comment. So I left 40 years ago to Hawaii from St. Petersburg, and I saw agriculture diminishing. So I think it would be a good idea to just encourage people to grow their own food. You know, even if they're afraid of it, just to start somewhere, just to pick a start and just try it. You know, because once you try it and once you get hooked, you're hooked. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that you're onto something.
Okay, well, go for it. I'm going to take my call offline, okay? Because I got to get to work.
Yes.
Okay.
So restate the second one. I've been thinking about that first one. What do you want to know? The second one?
The first one was the top.
I got the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
to encourage people, because if agriculture, you know, I came back 40 years later and I don't really see that much progress other than the greenway systems, which University of Florida created, the bikeway systems. But other than that, I just see you just can't keep building buildings wall to wall and have no agriculture within your community. So you have to have integrated, I coined the term integrated agriculture. You have to have agriculture integrated within the community, or we're going to die. I mean, basically, that's what it comes down to. You're gonna use up all the food, and you're going to be dependent on somebody else for your survival. And then historically, we ran out of resources, and then we start eating each other, which is Soylent Green was about, right? So that's actually very, very pertinent to today's world.
I agree. And so the countries that tend to have better public health care systems, there are two areas, Southeast Asia, Singapore, Japan, South Korea have really good health outcomes.
Japan's been through it, you know?
And then the Northern European, Netherlands, Denmark, Scandinavia, they tend to really take great care of their citizens. Norway is so impressive that instead of selling out all of their natural resources to corporations, they took their natural oil resources, leased it to corporations, and put all of the profits from that into a sovereign wealth fund to support the people in that nation. It seems to make a lot of sense here. Brilliant. America likes to rape its citizens instead. And so we don't have good public health, but those are the countries that do. And I talk all the time about something called the Victory Garden.
Yeah,
America survived
back in World War II, right?
We survived World War II because we grew 40% of our food on our own home lots. And so I have a food forest on my home lot in Southgate, Sarasota. I got 30 fruit trees on it. Underneath the fruit trees, I grow pineapples and other vegetables.
Okay, Doc, I got to go to work, but have you looked at the book Collapse by Jared Diamond?
I have not. I look at the other end.
Collapse, yeah.
Rebuilding.
Collapse. He just went through the countries that survived, devastation and non-collapse. And throughout the global system, but it's just pertinent. It might be pertinent to you. Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
I got to go to work. Thanks, Doc. Good job.
Yes, have a great day at work.
Keep it up. You too.
So, I agree with that. America is poised for collapse, and the things that the government's doing right now are setting us up for complete collapse. It's my belief that the current administration's goal is to collapse the American corporate fascist hegemony so that the rest of the world can start eating. Not certain, but there's a whole thing going on here that seems so perfectly poised to do that. But we Americans have a personal responsibility to ourselves. Forget anybody else. Be selfish. It's about being first, right? Isn't that America's whole motto right now? So if you want to be first, grow your own food. Grow your own organic food. You can't grow everything you need, but if you contribute to your food, like say 40%, you're doing better than most of the country. So think about actually feeding yourself, and don't let some big conglomerate, a global boxing company, put poison in a box and sell it to you and tell it's food. What a joke. I think we have more callers.
Indeed we do. I'm down to just Ann in Inglewood, so I'm going to remind folks we've got about a little over 25 minutes of the show, and I want you to participate. Give us a call to the Healthy Steps Radio Show on WMNF Tampa with Dr. Fred Harvey. Just dial 813-239-9663 and continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. Good morning, Ann.
Am I on?
Yes, you are, Ann. What you got for us today?
Hi. I've been following you for years. Okay, question. What do you think about the methylene blue thing?
I think fads are everywhere.
Pardon?
I love influencers. They always give me something else to talk about.
Right.
Here we have a new fad, methylene blue. It's been around forever. Why don't we use it all the time? Because it doesn't do what they say it's doing.
Okay, it's a dye. It dyed my countertop.
Yeah, it's a great dye. It's wonderful. But it's not going to do what they tell you they say it's doing. I mean, if it were that great, if there really were a panacea, I think that Pandora's box would have helped us figure that one out.
I hear you. Thank you. Yeah, because I was wondering.
Yeah, don't buy into all this fluff, especially when you're seeing it on Instagram and Facebook.
Right? Okay, so what do you take every day as supplements?
Well, it varies, but I tend to stick with a core of a good multivitamin, multimineral.
Do you take a gummy or do you take the?
Oh, no, I take a capsule because they're well absorbed, and I don't think you get enough things in a gummy, and I don't want the goo, and I don't want the flavor, and I don't want the sugar, and it's like, stop.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I take about 2 grams of fish oil every day. Even though I eat fish regularly, I think that it's really important to maintain really high omega-3 levels in your brain.
I hear you. And so in that, are you taking just cod liver oil or?
No, I take actually a highly purified one that has 900 milligrams of omega-3 EPA plus DHA in a single 1,000 milligram capsule. So I only have 100 milligrams of triglycerides in there that holds the rest of it together. And so I only need to take 2 capsules to get almost 2 grams. I like the potency, and it's so clean. I have never, ever belched fish oil.
Yeah. All right. How about black seed oil?
No, but I take a multi fat-soluble antioxidant. A, D, E, and K are all in one pill because I don't like to take lots of pills. And I take.
I know I can't ask you this, but I'm going to.
What's that?
Is there a particular company that you stand by?
Well, I have formulated for a company called Zymogen for years because they are a company that has spent the entire time focused on practitioner needs and client needs and quality. In fact, they're the only company on the planet that actually has a serial number on the bottle that you can trace the material in that bottle back to the raw material source, because that's how transparent this company is.
And the name again, sir? XYMOGEN.
They're in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the highest quality of any supplement company that I have seen out there, because they actually have gone to the highest standards, as high as pharmaceutical companies are needed to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's why I use them. In addition, other things that I take N-acetylcysteine. NAC every day because I want my liver supported for detox. I also take my own supplement called Chelex, CHELEX, because it has antioxidants and detox support in there that helps remove toxic metals, toxic petrochems, and mycotoxins.
Perfect. And that's on a daily basis? You take that every day, or is it just...
I do. And sometimes if I know that I'm going to be exposed, like if I'm going to eat out, and there might be grain in the meal or fish or something, I will take an extra one of those to help bind up that meal.
Certainly.
I stopped taking probiotics because I do a lot of local ferments, but once in a while, if I feel out of balance, I will take a probiotic. But I don't think they're critical any longer, because I really think that we need natural ferments.
Every day.
What's that?
Or fermented food, unless you're eating a fermented food product.
Right. But I think fermented food is a better choice.
Me too.
Because if you take cabbage and you let the natural bacteria ferment it, they make vitamin K2 right there for you.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's so cool.
All right, so another question, and thank you for your time. All right, so you said you have a garden.
Yes.
And you're pretty much, like trying to live off your own property.
No, I'm supplementing my food with my own property. I can't live off my property. I'm not a farmer. I don't have enough room to grow everything I need.
Yeah. Do you eat meat?
I do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm an omnivore. A great book on that, The Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan, helps kind of wade through it.
Oh, I love that book. I have it.
It's wonderful. And the bottom line is, I believe that humans have lived on the Mediterranean diet or the modified Mediterranean, like the Blue Zone diet, for millennia, and we do well.
Yeah. It doesn't mean you have to eat the whole damn cow.
Well, it means we shouldn't eat the whole damn cow. 10 to 20% animal product, 80 to 90% plant product. We need to cherish our animals. My spiritual teacher said the four-legged said we can drink their milk, but we can't eat their bodies. The birds said we can have their eggs, but we can't have their bodies. The fish said, okay, go ahead, eat your body.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the fish have donated to us. Even Christ used fish to feed the masses. He didn't use beef.
Thank you. But I try to eat okay. So the dilemma for me is like the grass-fed beef has absolutely no flavor. I get green wise.
Well, you're not getting grass-finished beef. See,
Yeah.
I get my beef from a small farm out in Arcadia, and it's grass finished. They don't need any grains, so it has this wonderful, amazing flavor that tastes like the beef I ate in Pennsylvania back in 1972. It's real meat.
Right. Without being processed a million different times.
Yeah, they live on this farm. They are taken to Melbourne, where they're humanely slaughtered and then brought back here in backpacks to sell to the people.
So it's like a perfect circle, you know?
Yes.
They had a good life, and then the farmers are making money, which is key.
Yes.
And then you know what you're eating.
Yes, and the animals have a great life. I've been to the farm. It is idyllic. It is a pastoral beauty.
I mean, how'd you find the farm?
Well, I found it because he used to come to the Sarasota Farmers Market, and then when COVID hit, he went online, and now you just order the stuff online, and you meet him in town and pick up the bag.
Oh, I wonder what's it called?
Grove Ladder Farm.
Say it again.
Grove Ladder Farm. But you can actually go and look for these things locally. I mean, just look for locally sourced product. Google it.
Okay.
And look for co-ops and other, like Tanya and Sustainable Living. They have connections to all these amazing farms, and they talk about it all the time. And so there's resources that they have too that help us actually find more health, because when we start working our own land and getting our hands in dirt, we actually get exposed to microbiome in the earth that actually helps us get healthier.
I know. Yeah. I know.
They've done studies in Oakland, California, and in Williamsburg, Bronx, where they actually put in gardens, and autoimmune disease and asthma rates went down in those cities.
I believe it. Yep.
We need to remember that we're part of the planet. We're not separate from. We're not here to be in dominion. We're here to be stewards. We are natural beings living on a natural planet. We need to remember that we're part of this environment. And as long as we keep pooping in the environment, we're going to keep killing ourselves.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that our society is addicted to capitalistic destruction of everything. You extract profit from living creatures, and then you spew the debris of your industrial waste all over the planet to kill us all. It's a sick feed-forward death cycle, and it needs to end.
I feel the same way.
Well, lots of people do, and we're going to end it.
Okay.
I believe that our current administration is here to bring down the American capitalist fascist hegemony, to end this nutsy, crazy worldview.
I know. Look at the world. Nobody likes them.
Well, that's because we're greedy, mean, and stupid.
In our own yards, in our own minds, in our own hearts. Help our neighbors.
Think about it. Did you know that right here in Florida, where you're living in a mercury atmospheric red zone per the Environmental Protection Administration, because Houston and all the platforms burn off vapor, and it has mercury in it. You're breathing mercury when you walk outside your house here, and nobody talks about it.
Well, I can't do this. I have a neighbor that is a flat earther, and he thinks that all those trails are whatever, poison. I just can't live with that mentality. I know that it's out there, but I prefer to ignore it. And I just live in my bubble. Take care of my grandchildren, eat right, ask you questions, and try not to buy into certain things that are popping up.
Yeah, I think all we can do,
methylene blue.
All we can do is live well and make good choices in our lives. Living consciously and making personal decisions that are proactive to grow our lives and to grow everyone's lives is really the way we make the entire planet healthier. We've got to actually critically think and not repeat stupid conspiracy theories and try to prove that the earth is flat, which we proved it isn't millennia ago. Stop. Right? Yeah. So anyway, thank you for your input. Amazing questions. Call again sometime.
Thank you so much. Really. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
showing up. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you there, Ann. And it's gone dark in here. Dark is my soul, as the saying goes. And we've got Maddie, who's doing her first shift here. So we want her to be impressed with how many callers we get. And we're down to about the last 15 minutes, so that's the challenge. You're listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show here on WMNF Tampa. Dr. Harvey is answering your questions, so give us a call at 813-239-9663 and continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. Speaking of emails, what have you got for us in that category, Doctor?
Well, David sent us one. Says, hey, Dr. Fred, great show today. I'm glad you mentioned the French fries. I used to get them with meals, but now whenever I go out to eat, I ask what substitutes are available. There usually are some good veggie-based options like broccoli or asparagus. I think people don't think to ask for the substitution, but I ask all the time now and really avoid the fries because I know they are tasty death sticks. Don't be shy to ask your server for alternatives. I also rarely eat fast food anymore because I know it's not good for me. I used to eat it a few times a week, but now I eat it maybe 3 times a year. I feel so much better both in my brain and my stomach. And here's a message for every one of the listeners: cut out the fast food. One more thing. I've learned so much from this show through the years, including with the prior host like Eve. I am much healthier as a result, and I want to thank you all for all you do for helping people. Here we have one. Yeah, Doc, the advertising cycle recently is shifting back to cholesterol in our blood as opposed to sugar. I need a break. Yes, the advertising cycle is good. What are they marketing this week to get you to buy some new product that an influencer is going to push every hour on Instagram today? Here's another one. This one is from Anonymous. What are some natural things that someone who has bad constipation problems to help them poop? I talked about them earlier. Natural ferments are great. Find some naturally fermented sauerkraut. Locally fermented foods are great for you. So you can do your own as well. I would get some advice on how to do it because you don't want to get toxic food, but read about how to ferment cabbage. It is so easy, and you will get such benefit out of it. But one of the things you want to remember is that many people with constipation just don't get enough water. So making sure that you get 2 or 3 liters of water a day, clear water, not just other stuff in it, but water, that can help your constipation. And I think the board's just lit up.
Yeah, that was the magic touch there, I guess, to tickle people into calling on into your show there, Doctor. I've got Pat, Regina, and Tom. Let's go to Pat in St. Pete.
Good morning. Good morning, Pat. What do you got for me?
Hey, how you doing? How's everybody doing out there?
Doing great. How are you today?
Going through the emotions. What I have going on here is when I was younger, I sprained my ankles quite a bit, which I'm pretty sure has something to do with that. But I have a knee problem around the patella, the inside of the patella. And I was laid up in the hospital 2 different times at 69 days total, a lot of that time off my feet, and I lost a lot of muscle mass. One doctor says it's bone on bone, but the x-rays didn't confirm that. The problem is, I believe, it's the muscle mass and maybe condylomalacia. I'm playing a real hard time trying to get the inserts, the doctors to go this way, and the insurance company, and everybody's juggling me around, and it's been since April. And I need to be more ambulatory so I won't fall back into ill health. I was wondering, is there any kind of exercises I can do for my feet while they're juggling this insert for my shoes?
Have they sent you to physical therapy?
I'm in physical therapy.
Okay, good. So is it progressing very well or no?
No, not exactly. No, it's not the... there's another problem, but that's working out right now. But the knee issue is not working out. And I actually seem like I'm telling them some things I see on the internet, and they're like dumbfounded by it.
So are you taking anything to support your knee health? Things like fish oil, chondroitin and glucosamine, curcumin and boswellia, any kind of anti-inflammatory natural stuff?
I'm not. I am a heart patient with AFib, and they told me. I read somewhere that you're not supposed to be taking fish oil. Is that correct?
No, that's a fallacy.
Fantastic. I'll start right away.
So I think you should actually be doing things to help with the inflammation. So, and your primary care doctor can help too. He can check your omega-3 levels at Quest and LabCorp. They can just do a simple blood test. And if you're in the inflammatory zone, you need more fish oil, no question. And they can guide you on that if they do testing. You would probably be helped by taking chondroitin and glucosamine, possibly by taking something called orthosilicic acid, on the market as BioSil. It is a collagen builder. And then there's another thing. Since you're getting PT and not getting results, you might want to look at something called muscle activation technique. Google muscle activation technique. You can find the website, and then you can search for a local practitioner who does it. They do things differently than physical therapy and will augment what your physical therapist is doing.
Okay, I've been through Rothing a number of sessions in the last 4 days.
That's a totally different thing.
Yeah, and
muscle activation technique specific, very different from anything else you've ever experienced.
Okay, very good. I appreciate that. But I also wanted to say about by an osteopath a number of years ago that my patella is out of alignment because of my fibula and femur is out of alignment or something because of my ankles being crooked.
And that's exactly the reason you need to see a muscle activation technique specialist, because they help you actually reorient that stuff, because they work specifically on where it is out of balance and help you put it back in balance.
Fantastic. I needed this.
Look it up and good luck. Thanks for your call and have a good week.
You too.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much there, Pat. And let's go to Regina in Palm Harbor. Good morning, Regina.
Good morning. I heard a really good argument for why the Earth is actually flat.
Well, there isn't any good argument for it. There's no such thing, and there's no reason to even consider arguing that. Do you have anything else to contribute to the show today, Regina?
Excuse me?
Do you have anything besides that to contribute to the show? Do you have a health suggestion or question?
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and I've got Tom in St. Pete. Good morning, Tom.
I believe that it can be scientifically proven that there is nothing in existence that is actually flat.
I love you, Tom. You can come back anytime.
Well, yeah, I believe that's just a matter of fact. To achieve perfect flatness, is only in theory.
There are no straight lines. Everything in the universe goes in spirals.
There are no straight lines, really. That we know. Hey, I wanted to button up this the snacking that I had discussed with you a week or two ago.
Yes.
I discovered. I got two questions. One is they make these plantain chips now that are cooked in avocado oil, as well as cassava. So
they're still fried.
Yeah.
They're deep fried. So there's still that problem. Anything deep fried is disruptive to your gut microbiome. Anything.
You're on that. Well, okay. So avocado oil, cooking, deep frying in avocado oil is bad for you.
Deep frying is bad for you, yes. I don't care which oil you use. Deep frying is bad for you. It's proven, and significantly, so many studies that it's like, do we need to talk about flat Earth again?
Yeah. Well, okay. All right. Well, that kind of moves my next question. was going to be, if you're, I guess if you're gonna snack, the corn and the sugar and there's the fast starches and there's the slow starches. Potatoes better than stuff.
Yes.
If you were going to snack, how would cassava and plantain fall on your spectrum of healthy to bad for you?
Well, I think cassava and plantains are fine, but just don't eat them deep fried.
Sure. Okay. I guess then my last question on the kettle cooking is completely shot too. because this. But tell me, let's just, I'm not a skeptic. I'm ignorant. So educate me on what it is about, and now I understand how oils break down. I have a chemistry background. I went through organic.
It's not just the oils. It's the high temperature oil cooking with the chemicals in the foods you're frying that alters the nature of them. So there's actually a chemical reaction that goes on in some ways. And then there's also something that happens in high temperature baking too. You get these changes. And so you don't really want these chemically altered things. I mean, there is a really good point for eating a lot of your food raw. I mean, I love salad, and I think it's really worth it to eat your fruit and your salad and all these things raw, because then you don't alter the chemicals and you get them the way they're, designed in nature. So frying is a very good mental health tweak, but it's not a very good physical health tweak.
and so steaming would be like the next best thing?
Steaming is ideal because you break down the cellulose wall so you can extract the nutrients a little bit better, but you don't overcook what's inside. And you don't add anything to it except for a little bit of water, which is already in it.
Right. And I just, in conclusion, I actually heard that toasting toast in a toaster or bagels in a toaster is that reaction, that burning reaction, searing steak, that burning reaction causes carcinogens to form. Right.
So if you get black stuff, the black stuff is polyaromatic hydrocarbons. They are carcinogenic. The brown stuff is pretty tasty, but it also has a little bit of a tweak on your system that it can signal to actually go towards diabetes, the brown stuff. So everything has potential signaling changes in our body. So you have to actually eat a wide variety and don't eat too much of any one type of food or one way of cooking food, because then you're stuck with those chemicals.
I'm with you completely, and I love to steam, and my next quest is going to be to figure out a steamed snack.
Very good. Hey, I got to run. I'm down to the last minute. I might get one more in here. Thank you, Tom.
All right. Do you want to try a call or email?
We're at 10:58. Sorry, Sam and Sarah. I'll do some emails until we are finished here.
Okie dokie.
So, hi, my friend has a breast tumor. How can she help it? Well, one thing to do is to actually find a functional medicine doctor. Go to instituteforfunctionalmedicine.org and do a doctor search in your area. Then you get to talk to somebody who looks at human health rather than human disease. There's so many things to do about any time anybody has any kind of tumors or cancer that you really need to actually get some guidance. Here's a text from somebody that just says, right on, Dr. Harvey. Thank you. Let's see. Would you know of any research supporting or not supporting the use of platelet-rich plasma to help with any kind of health issues? Platelet-rich plasma is purified blood product. And yes, there is definitely evidence that this works, but it's not a panacea. It does help with injury and healing, but in all honesty, we need a broader look at things. There are no panaceas. There's no magic bullet. We need to take care of ourselves long-term to promote long-term health so that illness is less impactful for us. And when we do that stuff, we can make the illness less impactful while we're experiencing it too. And so empower yourself to do the right thing for your body and not necessarily look for an external source to get you better. Until next week, thank you, Maddie, for answering all the phones. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Bill, for running the boards. And I really appreciate everyone who calls in and listens to this show. The questions and interaction today, again, were wonderful. Thank you. Have a great week.
And thank you. And the same back to you there, Doctor. I hope you have an awesome week. And all of our listeners and supporters have an equally awesome week. And I want to thank them all for participating. The show could not be possible without their listening and calling on in. And Maddie, I want to thank you very much for helping us. Could not have done the show without you. So until next week, everybody, stay healthy. You have been listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Waiting for you like a dear friend is 5 minutes of NPR news, and then get ready for the Sustainable Living Show, hosted today by Tanya Vidovic. So until next Monday at 10 a.m., thank you for supporting and listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, your community conscious radio station. Stay safe, stay thoughtful, and know that you are loved.